So Unit 6 is all about geometry, which is like shapes, area, perimeter, stuff like that. So we're going to start with a review of area and a little bit of perimeter, but mostly focusing on area and how to find those. Let me zoom in. Okay, so on this page, we just have all of our formulas that you'll get to refer back to. So we'll talk about how to use those, and then just chat through them, and then we'll use them. So we're going to say that I can find perimeter and area of two-dimensional shapes. So remember that perimeter is the distance around the outside. So you just add up the lengths of the outside. And then area is the space inside of that shape. So here are all of my formulas. I have the names, a picture, and then the formula to find their area. So a rectangle, here's our shapety shape, and its area, so A is for area, is the length L times the width W. So I just multiply those two together, that gives me the area. Okay, a square, so all the sides are going to be the same. And what it might look like is it might have these little lines. And when it has all of the same line, that means that they're the same length. So when I see that one tick mark, that means they're all the same. On a rectangle, you might see it as, let's say, right, the lengths are going to be the same, and the widths are going to be the same as each other, but different than the lengths. So it would have like 2 tick marks. Okay, so if it has the same number of tick marks, it means it's the same length. You just might see that, just explaining what that means. Anyway, so the area for a square is the side squared, or squared means that you're multiplying that number times itself twice. So side times side. Okay, for a parallelogram, to find the area, you're going to take the base, which is this whole thing, times the height, which is right here. So these slanted measurements, those A's, are only needed for perimeter. They are not needed for the area. So this one here. And it will meet at a right angle, which is marked by a little square. So a 90-degree angle. Okay? Right, and then the formula for a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height. So here's the base, and the height is where it meets at a right angle. Okay, so that 90-degree angle, whenever you see this little square in the corner, that means it's a right angle. That's going to tell you that's where the height is. All right, so the trapezoid. You could break it down into some triangles and a rectangle, fair enough. But there is a formula for it. So the area comes from taking this A length plus this B length, whatever that is, divide by 2. Then after you've done that, multiply by the height. All right, so those are our formulas for area. So let's get into some practice. Okay. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to take all these extras away. So we're just going to jump in to the homework section. Okay, I'm going to help you with a couple of them, and then I'll let you do the rest on your own. Let's do a triangle. All right, so find number 3. If I can get it to follow up on one page. All right, might just have to flip back and forth. That's okay. All right, so the perimeter is the distance around the outside. So I'm going to take all of the ones around the outside. So 8 plus 7 plus 9. That's all right. 8 plus 7 plus 9. Okay, is 24. And my unit is yards. So the perimeter is 24 yards. So if I walked around the distance around the outside of this triangle, I would have walked 24 yards. Okay. Right, so then my area of my triangle, I'm always going to start by rewriting my formula. The area is 1/2 of the base times the height. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to fill in what is the base and what is the height. So I'm going to write equals 1/2. My base is 9. And the height is where it meets the base at a 90-degree angle. So where this little corner, that means that this one is the height, so 6. Okay. And then I'm just going to go through and do one operation at a time. So I'm going to do 9 times 6, which, why is that escaping me? 54. Okay. All right, and then 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 54, or 54 divided by 2 is 27. Okay, and then my units are square yards. So if I filled this with little squares that were all 1 yard by 1 yard, it would take 27 of those to fill the inside of that triangle. Or you could see it 27 yards squared. Either one. All right, and then I'm going to help you with the trapezoid. Then you're on your own. All right. So I'll let you do perimeter on your own, and we'll just do area together. So I'm going to just start by rewriting my formula on my paper. Then I have to flip back and forth less. So my area equals base length A plus base B divided by 2 times the height. Okay. All right. So my area is equal to, I'm going to take this base length 1.8 plus this other base 4.8 divided by 2 times the height is right here at that 90-degree angle, which is 2 feet. So again, I'm just going to do one operation at a time. Don't punch this all in your calculator at once. It might not work. So I'm just going to start with 1.8 plus 4.8. Is 6.6. All right, so we got 6.6 divided by 2 times 2, doing one operation at a time. 6.6 divided by 2 is 3.3. Then I still have to do times 2. 3.3 times 2 is 6.6. And we're talking about square feet. So if I filled that with squares, like little cubes that were 1 foot by 1 foot, it would take 6.6 of those. Alright, so I'm going to leave the rest to you. Don't forget the perimeter on that one. Then go and find the perimeter and areas of the other ones.